Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. And it is a pleasure to be debating this important subject under your BDI. And can I congratulate my honourable friend, the member for Cleethorpes, on securing this debate. Quality religious education is an important part of a knowledge-rich curriculum. It ensures all pupils understand the value and traditions of Britain and other countries, and it helps to foster an understanding among different faith and cultures in our modern diverse nation. Now, the honourable member for Plymouth, Sutton and Devonport, in what was a very powerful speech, is right when he says that a proper understanding of politics and culture requires a deep knowledge of the world's great religions, a point echoed by my honourable friend, the member for Cleethorpes, who cited common phrases such as the writing on the wall, salt of the earth, and probably pertinent to this place, Dame Maria, how the mighty have fallen, all of which come from the Bible. And my honourable friend, the member for Congleton, demonstrated how important knowledge of religion, knowledge-based and academic, is to understand many of the great events and conflicts around the world. And the honourable member for Strangford, by citing two of his teachers from his school days, which were probably a few decades ago, reminds us of the important role that teachers play in our lives, ensuring that we have the knowledge, and in his example, the knowledge of Irish history and of other world religions, that knowledge that we need to be able to understand the world. Now, RE is an important part of a modern school curriculum, which has the aims of promoting the spiritual, moral and cultural development of children and young people, and to help them prepare for the responsibilities and experiences of adult life. It is important that pupils know about the world's key religions. We need to develop students' knowledge and understanding of religious beliefs, of the teachings and sources of those beliefs, and the key religious texts and scriptures of all the world's major religions. Knowledge of world religions is also valuable in supporting Britain's relationships with other countries. And it's clearly important to understand the values and perspectives of those with whom you wish to conduct business or build diplomatic relationships. And it's because of the importance of this subject that it remains compulsory for all maintained state-funded schools in England, including, Dame Maria, through their funding agreements, academies, that all pupils continue to study religious education up to the age of 18. Now, my honourable friend, the member for Cleethorpes, will be aware of statistics which indicate that 64% of the UK adult population thinks that an education in religion and worldviews is an important part of the school curriculum, and 71% agreed that the subject should reflect the diversity of background and the beliefs in the UK today. We require schools to publish on their websites details of the curricula, including RE, and we want parents to have a clear understanding of what their child will be taught and to be able to talk to the school if they have any questions or concerns about this. The support of my honourable friends and other honourable members here in this debate today have shown for RE is reflected in the continuing popularity of the Religious Studies GCSE. I know this was something that the honourable member, the Shadow Minister, referred to, but provisional figures for 2022 show that 34.3% of the cohort of pupils at the end of Key Stage 4 took the GCSE in Religious Studies, some 221,000 pupils. It has more entries than each of art and design, of computing, of business studies, and of PE. And in 2010, that figure was 195,109, but that was, of course, for the full course GCSE. And at that time, there was also the short course GCSE. And that amounted to some 31% of the cohort. And in 2016-17, actually, the figure was higher than it is today, of 264,000 pupils taking the GCSE, some 45% of the cohort. Now, my honourable friend, the member for Stoke-on-Trent North, raised the issue of the EBAC, as he is wont to do. We deliberately, as he will know, kept the EBAC small enough to enable pupils to study other subjects such as music, art, RE, or vocational subjects. And our overriding concern when we introduced the EBAC was that the core academic subjects it represents, English, maths, science, language, history, or geography, were being denied to too many pupils, especially the more advantaged. And can I take this opportunity, Dame Maria, to pay tribute to my honourable friend for his period of office as the Minister of State for School Standards. I know he is committed to raising academic standards in our schools. He did so during his period in office, and I know he will continue to do so in the other roles that he will play, and I wish him well in the other roles that he is seeking. Madam Dame Maria, maybe one day. My honourable friend, the member for Cleethorpes, referred to a decline in the time spent teaching RE. While figures will, of course, vary from school to school, at a national level, the proportion of time that secondary schools spend teaching RE has remained broadly stable. It was 3.2% of all teaching hours in 2010 and 3.3% in 2021. Now, the Honourable Member for Strangford raised the issue of the right to withdraw from RE. And while our view is that RE is an important subject, we do think it's equally important that parents and older students have a right to withdraw from the subject, and we have no plans to change this. In relation to a school's RE curriculum, Dame Maria, except for subject content specifications for the religious studies GCSE and A-level, the government doesn't prescribe the curriculum content or how RE should be delivered, or indeed how many hours should be taught. RE is part of each school's basic or wider curriculum. I'm very happy to give way to the Honourable Member.
I thank the Minister for giving way. In Northern Ireland, we recently had an outrageous court judgment that declared exclusively Christian RE lessons in Northern Ireland primary schools are unlawful. In my mind, this ruling reveals the real agenda of so many, that it's the removal of Christianity from school settings. Surely in this broken land and society that we have, we see the breakdown of the family unit, we see soaring rates in suicide born out of hopelessness. Surely the teaching of love, hope, charity within Christianity is what this society needs more of, not less of. Would you agree with me?
Well, the member makes an important point. These are common features of the world's major religions. Obviously, RE and education is a devolved matter in Northern Ireland. Dame Maria, RE is part of each school's basic or wider curriculum, and while academies, free schools and most maintained schools designated as having a religious character may design and follow their own RE curriculum, all other maintained schools must follow their area's locally agreed syllabus for RE, and the locally agreed syllabus specifies details of the RE curriculum that they should deliver and is monitored by the Standing Advisory Council for Religious Education, which is established by each local authority. Now, I understand concerns that some schools may not be taking their duty to teach RE seriously, and this was raised by a number of honourable members and honourable friends. And I should be clear that all mainstream state-funded schools are required to teach RE. Schools which are not teaching RE are acting unlawfully or are in breach of their funding agreements. And any concerns that a school may not be complying with the requirement to teach RE should, in the first instance, be raised via the school's complaints procedure. And if the complaint isn't resolved, then the issue can be escalated via the Department for Education's schools complaints unit. Now, as honourable members have cited the figures, I think that 1 in 5 schools are not teaching RE. I think it was the honourable member for Gainsborough raised this issue. Well, actually, the department doesn't collect data on schools' level of compliance with the requirement to teach data. It does collect data on the hours of RE teaching by teachers. But while this data is drawn, the data that my honourable friend cites, while this data is drawn from individual schools' timetabling systems, so it doesn't really represent a completely accurate picture. For example, it may not pick up where RE is taught as part of another subject or under a different title. I'll give way to my honourable friend, of course.
Debate. Will the Minister issue general guidance to all schools that they must fulfil their statutory requirements in this area?
Well, I will take that under consideration, Dame Maria. We do have guidance already in issue about the teaching of religious education in our schools. Dame Maria, regardless of whether teachers are following a locally agreed syllabus for RE or one designed by their own school or by a multi-academy trust, ensuring that they have access to high-quality teaching resources is important, as it is for every other subject. And we intend to support teaching of RE through the procurement of full curriculum packages by Oak National Academy. I think this actually goes to the point my honourable friend, the member for Gainsborough, was referring to. We want to make sure that what is taught is of high quality. And I think this applies not just to RE, but to some other subjects. And the role that Oak is playing in providing resources for teachers, I think, is very important. And in the second tranche of their procurement process, Oak will be procuring curriculum materials and curriculum maps and plans for religious education. Now, recruiting and retaining teachers is crucial to every curriculum subject. It was something referred to by the Shadow Minister and by other honourable members. And the department is therefore driving an ambitious transformation plan to overhaul the process of training to be a teacher. This includes stimulating initial interest through world-class marketing, providing support for prospective trainees, and using real-time data and insight from our new application process to help boost recruitment where it's most needed. And in the 2020-21 academic year, we exceeded the postgraduate initial teacher training target for religious education teachers, achieving 129% of the target. And whilst in the 2021-22 academic year, the equivalent target was narrowly missed, achieving 99% of that target. And we do keep these issues under review. And my honourable friend, the member for Cleethorpes, and the honourable member for Plymouth, Sutton and Devonport also raised the issue of initial teacher training bursaries. And as the government doesn't provide bursaries for every subject, I can understand the disappointment for those who are not eligible. And I don't put all the blame of that onto my honourable friend, the member for Stoke North. These are decisions that are taken every year, and they are difficult decisions as we decide how to allocate the scarce resource of those bursaries. And they are allocated to take account of historic recruitment, of their forecast economic conditions, and teacher supply needed in each subject. And this allows us to focus the bursary expenditure on subjects with the greatest need, and ensures that we spend money where it is needed most. My honourable friend, I think, did get that decision absolutely right in his period in office. Now, specialist teacher training and continuous professional development is important for every subject. And in some cases, subject knowledge enhancement courses may be appropriate for those training to become a specialist. And this is where a school's direct lead school or an initial teacher training provider can identify applicants who have the potential to become outstanding RE teachers, but who need to increase their subject knowledge in that subject. And there's an 8-week subject knowledge enhancement course to help them become specialist teachers. My honourable friend, I give way to my honourable friend, of course.
I'm very grateful to this really well. He's completely correct, Dame Maria, that continued professional development is so important to being a high-quality teacher. But sadly, we are the only country in Europe that doesn't have enough specified hours for teachers to do teacher training throughout the academic year. This is something I know I was looking at within the department whilst I was there. And so does he agree with me that we're going to enable for this 8-week course, for example, to be taken up by non-specialists such as someone like myself, that we're going to therefore need the opportunity to actually protect time for teachers to get that professional development?
Is absolutely right, and we do have very clear guidance to schools about mentoring and about teacher and continuing professional development. And the early career framework was also implemented to help teachers in those first 2 years of their career to make sure they have the right mentoring and the right training so that they can turn into accomplished teachers. Now, one of my honourable friends raised the issue of collective worship, which is an important part of school life, and it encourages pupils to reflect on the concept of belief, on the role it plays in the traditions and value of this country, which equips them with the knowledge they need to interact with other people. It deals with how we live our lives, and it will include important moral and ethical issues. And any concerns that a school is failing to provide a daily act of collective worship should, in the first instance, be raised via the school's complaints unit. Finally, Dame Maria, I'd like to reiterate the government's commitment. Yes, give way to my honourable friend.
Is it going to deal with my point about the faith cap, which doesn't actually achieve anything?
Well, the way my honourable friend will recall when that decision was taken by, I think, the honourable member for Hampshire, one of the Hampshire seats, the decision was taken to encourage Catholic schools to use the voluntary aided route to establish a new school. But of course, we will continue to keep all these issues under review, as my honourable friend will know. But I would like to again reiterate the government's commitment for schools in England to continue to teach religious education. It is mandatory now, and we have no plans to change this, but there is scope to work on achieving a greater consistency in standards, and this is something that we will seek to improve through the work of the Oak National Academy. I give way to my honourable friend.
As there is still time within this debate, the Minister may recall that this summer the UK hosted a very successful international conference on freedom of religion or belief. 88 countries governments sent delegates, and out of that, the organisation, which is the International Alliance for Freedom of Religion or Belief, is working on developing material workbooks for primary school pupils to help them understand the importance of not discriminating against others of different faiths or beliefs, just as they now, in so many countries across the world, understand not to discriminate against, say, disabled pupils. I wonder if the Minister would be willing to meet with me as we work on this project. We're now 42 countries in our alliance, and our aim is eventually, and respecting the different cultures of those countries, to promote and ideally disseminate this through the education departments of our respective countries.
I'd be delighted to meet my honourable friend. May I pay tribute to her for the superb work that she's doing in her role as a special envoy. And can I also say to my honourable friend Member for Cleethorpes, I would of course be delighted to meet him and the RE policy unit to discuss these issues further. And on that, what I think is a good note to end on, I will finish my remarks there. Thank you, Dame.